Recently, I've been doing a lot of money-related videos, and I saw that it was fitting for me to also share a personal story of mine to let you know that I have been there where I made very terrible financial decisions. And the story I'm sharing with you today is how I blew my house job money or internship money and lived to regret it. It took me a long time to recover from that financially. Hi, I'm Dr. Tabat Emmanuel, a Nigerian medical doctor currently working in Saudi Arabia. When I graduated, it took me about 6 months before I was able to find a place that I could do housemanship. Unlike before, now having a place for housemanship or internship, depending on how you call it, was, as at that time, getting increasingly more difficult in Nigeria. Housemanship is a compulsory training that every doctor does after graduating. You learn the ropes, you learn the practical aspects of medical practice before you're being fully licensed. So immediately you graduate from medical school, you receive a provisional license. Upon completion of your housemanship or your internship program, you now get the full licensure. During that time, I worked for about 10 months. I worked for 10 months without being paid. How I was able to survive was because my father, who was alive then, would help by giving me some amount of money weekly that would sustain me. As at that time, he was still working, but he eventually even retired before I finished housemanship. So imagine staying for 10 months without getting paid at all. You're at the mercy of your father, who trained you. I still give you money after you become a medical doctor. It wasn't much as at that time. So it was what I was using to help my fellow colleagues that were also broke. Although the hospital usually does not take that long to not pay, that particular hospital is notorious for delaying payment for usually around 3 months or so. So you already know at the back of your mind that once you get internship there, for the first 3 months, it will take a miracle for you to be paid. For a few sets, it reached 6 months, but most get paid after 3 months. Then we, as our village people, were very successful. We reached 10 months without being paid. But that's how we're trying to see how we were going to eventually get paid. So one day, a lot dropped. Imagine you're having nothing and now having over 1.5 million naira in a day. I would say precisely, I got credited 1.71 million naira, because as at that time, our salary for doctors was 171,000. So 10 months is 1.71 million naira. And it's not like now. That time money was way more valuable. Oh God, I felt I could paint the town red. In fact, the first thing I did that day was to go to a cinema. Since I was in Abuja, I decided to go to a cinema to watch the latest film. I was just having money, feeling myself. And then what also happened was that it wasn't all of us that were being paid. And that's because some came at a later time. So we that started the house job, as at the time the set started, were the ones that got paid. Those that came later were still not paid. Being the generous person that I was, I decided to loan some people handsomely that were not paid money. When they get paid, I was going to get mine. The second mistake I made was, that was the time I decided to upgrade my gadgets, change my phone. I changed my laptop to more expensive versions, and then I shared the money among my family and friends. Hoping, I know there's money, blah, blah, blah. Made some financial decisions that backfired and the rest. And before you know, money are finished. And as at the time I concluded my house job, I didn't have money to do my full registration. And as at that time, full registration was just around 50 or 60,000 naira. Imagine someone that had over 1.5 million naira now not having 50,000 naira to pay for full registration because of how I blew the money. And that's how I struggled. But eventually I was able to recover. So this is something that many doctors find themselves in. They might not have blown the money like me, though I met someone that said that the only useful thing he did with his house job money was he was able to get a phone. And as at that time, the phone was like 100 and something thousand naira. That was the only thing he was able to get with his money. Every other thing he blew. But I have a friend, he came from a poor family. He used his house job money to get a car. I don't know whether he still uses it till date, but at the time I left Nigeria, he was using that car. That car served him, and eventually even got a house. He's currently in his personal house. So there are people that have been able to use their money wisely But quite a lot of doctors waste their house job money, which is something that I would really advise medical students and house officers to be careful with. That house job money is something that you shouldn't blow like some of us. And now that I've been able to somehow recover financially from that, I wanted to share some lessons that I learned that you could apply to, and it will save you from making the same mistake that I made. The first lesson I learned is that I should have had plans for the money before it came. As they say, to him who doesn't know where it's going to, anyway is a way. If you have no plan for money, any plan is a plan. So you should have a concrete plan as to what you want to do with the money before it comes. Although your money wouldn't come like mine that just came in bulk. Unlike those that start house job and immediately they start getting paid, you should have plans for your money. Have a concrete thing you want to do, know the next step you want to take. Although many times they will tell you should wait to navigate, but have an idea of where you want to go and the financial decisions you are going to make. If you want to go into residency in Nigeria, try to save up for that. Because even after passing the primaries, which is going to cost you money, there's no guarantee that you're going to get into residency training immediately. So in between that time, before you get into residency training, which is one of the most difficult financial year for a medical doctor, because as a medical officer, you're not going to earn the same money. So this will help to a large extent to cushion some things for you. Then if you want to write exams or you want to japa, that money will help you japa. Now it may not be much, as at that time we could facilitate our japari, some of us, but because we didn't have concrete plans, we couldn't finance it at that point in time. So if you want to japa, know that too and save towards that. Whatever you want to do, even if you want to start a business or whatever it is, that house job money is very important, because immediately you finish house job, you are not going to see that kind of money till you enter residency, and residency might take time. So please plan, have a plan for that money. Have a plan. Don't keep it, because even if you keep it, you will touch it. If you're going to save it somewhere that you wouldn't really be able to easily access it. That will go a long way for you. So have a plan for money before it comes. The second thing is that I would have been less extravagant. I bought some things that I thought I needed that I really could have done without. I didn't really need to upgrade some of the things that I upgraded then. I was eating out because I believed that there was money. The next is that I should have been less generous too. Yes, because a huge chunk of the money that I gave out, I didn't see them go. Some people still owe me till date, and there's nothing I can do. I'm not someone that will go and fight you because of money. I'm not that kind of person. So I'd given the money, hoping, including the one that I was thinking I was going to get to do my full registration. I gave them out, and I was still hearing stories until date. Although I can't even remember some of them, but till date, I've not heard anything. So this happens too. Whatever you cannot live without, especially financially, don't give out. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't help people, but you cannot save the world. So don't jeopardize yourself because you're trying to help people. These people might make you think that without you, they are going to die, but they are not going to die. I've learned that in a hard way, because even when I was broke and I was able to give quite a lot of them money, they still found a way of surviving. Then the next lesson, and the most important lesson for me, is that I'm learning so that I'll be able to train my children to do better. They shouldn't make the same mistake I made when I started earning. So I am trying to accumulate more financial knowledge and experience to be able to guide them properly, so that when they grow up, they wouldn't make the same mistake that I made. My parents did their best, but they didn't know enough to make me to avoid that. Let me not blame anybody here, but this is something that I hope that by the time my kids are all grown up, they will totally evade it, because this is very important. So that's it too. This is my experience during house job. I hope you learned something. Maybe some of you had similar experiences. You might have had worse or better. Let's know in the comment section. So if this is a video that you got value from, please give it a thumbs up. And if you love what I do here and you want to remain here, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you, and I'm going to see my next video. Bye.